Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Sunday Live at 8 p.m. show with me, Real British Media, aka Steve, and my guest, One Gen Media, aka Dave. How we doing, One Gen?
Got
I know
ya.
you didn't get me.
Hello,
I could see
everyone.
the slightest movement.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. No, good evening. Bloody hell, where am I today? Good evening to everyone. Yeah, I thought I'd play a little joke on you there, Real British Media. Didn't work.
It
No?
almost worked. It almost worked. I had to look carefully, and I could just about see some movement. But yeah, well done for
I did.
trying. So yeah. So today's I didn't do a show last Sunday as I wasn't able to. But we're back right now this Sunday, and we're going to talk about UKIP versus Reform tonight. As yeah, I just want to get everyone's thoughts, questions, ideas, and see where we go. What's your thoughts on UKIP and Nick Tenconi versus Reform, One Gen?
Well, I'm kind of in the UKIP camp now, you should know. I've been on the fence for a little while. Well, I can't say a little while. I was on the fence ever since Nigel Farage threw Tommy under the bus and all of us lot by Richard Tice. But yeah, it didn't take me long to discover Nick Tenconi and have a look at their policies in UKIP, watch a bit of his activist videos, and yeah, at the moment, I'm with UKIP, it looks like.
Yeah, same. Like, I was on the fence as well, and that's something we're going to go into as to why I'm off the fence for now anyway. Lynn's random stuff said I thought he couldn't hear. So you fooled someone there, One Gen. You fooled someone.
At least that's one person.
Cheeky Chops, good evening. Hope you're well. New sub, thank you very much. Also remember to like, comment, subscribe, all of that kind of stuff. Share, and we'll get this video out to more people. Hopefully people will filter in. At the moment we've got 7, so they're coming slowly. We'll post post your questions and
YouTube doesn't like sharing our lives depending on the content, so yeah, and if anyone wants to come up as well, stick it in the comments, and I'm sure Real British Media will bring you up.
I'm going to stick that in there now just in case, so it's there for anyone else that's joining. This is the link. Of course, I do require video to be on because I like full transparency on this show, so that is the link going into the comments now, in case anyone does want to come up and join the chat and have a debate and a discussion. Of course, we just had the Nick Tenconi on the Liam Tufts The Dozen show, which I was just watching. I only watched about half of it. I had to get ready, so I wasn't able to watch the full thing. But it's always a great show, and gives people more of an idea into Nick Tenconi, who he is, and his party, etc. Lynn's random stuff. UKIP for me. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm heading that way now as well.
The interview's still ongoing, actually. I had to cut it short to come on here. Brilliant interview. Yeah. I like listening to Nick Tenconi, and I like watching Liam Tuft give his interviews as well. So
yeah,
I'm going to catch up with the last bit of it when we finish.
Yeah, I watch all Liam Tuft shows. I think he does a brilliant show. He has some great guests, and of course it was good to see Nick Tenconi on there. I believe that Reform is the new Conservative Party. Well, that's what a lot of people are saying, that, Nigel Farage is pretty much a backseat Conservative. And yeah, I kind of agree with that, especially when it comes to his views and so on. They're more conservative than Nick Tenconi. But yeah, so I was on the fence with UKIP or Reform, and I, like most people, was saying that I believe that we should stick with Reform and give them our vote, because UKIP are too small to make a real challenge, and one of the most important things that we do is get Labour out of power. I mean, saying that, one of the most important things, or the most important thing to do, is saving this country, bringing back free speech, freedoms, real democracy, and that's the main goal. But yes, we need Labour out of power. So I thought, well, yeah, we'll stick by Reform because they got the biggest chance to do it. But then I gave that some thought, and I figured, well, the general election is a long way away, and UKIP are never going to grow if we don't back them, push them, and help them to grow. So I decided to come off the fence and support UKIP for now. Back and push them, help them grow, and then in 4 years' time we can make that decision of who we're going to vote for. So whether it's a tactical vote or whatever comes of it, 4 years is a long time, and we don't need to make any decision on voting for who and what party until that general election. So for now, I think we can use this time to get behind UKIP, push them, promote them, and hopefully help them grow, to be the party that we want them to be. So, and that's my thoughts on that, and that's what got me off the fence. Otherwise, I'd be on the fence for 4 years. So, what's your thoughts about that? Do you agree?
Yeah, I say we'll have to back everything you said. I was the same. I think Richard Inman was the first one that mentioned UKIP. I think during a show that we watched, and it was some time ago now. But straight away, I looked into Nick Tenconi and started researching him. And you can't deny that everything that he has in his policy, all of his points, everything that UKIP have in their manifesto, I guess, right now is what this country needs. There's nothing you can't disagree with in anything that he says. And watching the Liam Tufts interview today, which is on now probably still, he covers so many points. I mean, a lot of people, when I mention UKIP, first thing they say is it's a far right party or it's a racist party. So
yeah,
I'm glad
a lot of people
I'm glad he's covered a few of them points within the Liam Tufts interview. So yeah, I'd say anyone that hasn't seen it after we've finished, go and have a look. And also Nick Tenconi does an open question and answer session on X. I think he calls it X Time every other Thursday.
That's right.
I've been on 2 of them. He answers every question. He's answered 3 of mine in the last 2 shows. I know you've been onto one, haven't you, Real British Media? But I say he's open and honest. People pull him up and question him and all sorts. The same kind of things I hear from people that talk about UKIP, and he answers it straight away. He doesn't beat around the bush or try and sidestep it like most other MPs seem to do. So at the moment,
like you say, that's
he's got my vote
every
at
Thursday.
the moment.
Yeah, definitely. Like you say, every other Thursday on X at about 7:30 p.m. Nick Tenconi Talks, I believe, is the name of the show. And you can ask questions, get responses, and I've asked my questions, and I even said about them being small and so on, and he, Nick Tenconi even said, we need to back them for them to actually be able to grow. So that's my thoughts on that at the moment. But hopefully we get some people commenting to say whether they believe that sticking by reform is the best idea, or to move on to UKIP.
I mean,
we want
to
kind of
coming back to what you were saying, Real British Media, as well, was about making the vote just to have a difference between the Uni Party and Labour. I mean, I was in the same camp as you on that one. I didn't think UKIP had the structure or had the support to make a difference. But then the more you listen to Nick, and the more you see people join UKIP, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot more to come. Famous faces, people that people have heard of, that are endorsing and joining UKIP. There's no reason, I don't think, now that UKIP can't grow as quick as Reform has grown in the same space of time, which will give them plenty enough time, I think, to make a difference, if not win, in the general election. I mean, I say, look at their policies. If you agree with their policies and what they say, UKIP's got your vote.
Yeah.
I'm still open-minded. I've still got maybe 15% of me that's still looking around the field. We've got an evening with Ben Habib to come, so I'm interested to see what he says, see whether or not he's starting a political party or where he, what direction he takes, which is coming up next week. I say as soon as I've heard what he's got to say, it's decision time. At the moment, I say I'm swaying towards UKIP. I'm not in favour of reform anymore. Not after Tyson, Farage. I mean, if it came down to council elections in May, which it looks like mine and a lot of others are being cancelled, so Labour can redraw the lines in their favour. At the moment, you'd have to vote reform, I think, just to make some kind of a difference. But I still don't see why there's no reason why UKIP can't grow as quickly as reform. I think they've got a great leader at the moment in Nick Tenconi. If you like what he does and what he says, you've got to become a member of UKIP, because UKIP's a democratised party. Reform isn't a democratised party yet. Just remember that. They're still a business.
They're going to become a democratised party.
I know they will do eventually.
Aren't they, before?
Yeah, they will. Yeah, they have to, before the general election. But by joining Reform now as a member, you get the chance to vote for the leader of the party, which in our case at the moment would probably be Nick Tenconi. You can't do that.
This is it. I mean,
that's why Nigel's in charge. So.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if Reform had a vote on who to be the leader of the Reform Party, people are most likely going to be voting for Rupert Lowe because he is saying all the right things that we want to hear. But in terms of UKIP at the moment, it's only Nick Tenconi. No one knows about anyone else. No one knows about any members.
I
All we
mean,
know about is Nick Tenconi, and that's just us within the inner circle, if you like. Within the movement, we know about Nick Tenconi, but not a lot of people out there know that name. You ask anyone on the street, who's Nick Tenconi, and they'll probably tell you they don't know because he's
I
not
mean,
known.
do you think his popularity is on par with Rupert Lowe? You mentioned Rupert Lowe. If you go, I mean, obviously he's more known now because he said a few good things in Parliament, but don't forget he's an ex-Tory, and the label that Reform are getting now is Tory 2.0, and they've kind of centred themselves to be a bit more liberal in the last few months, I think, than ever before. And don't forget also that Nick Tenconi is a social conservative. That's where the party lies, along with Christianity, that he wants to introduce back into it, which I think is really important. There's still those
In terms
conservative.
of,
I say, hang on, there's still those conservative views, and don't forget, conservative means to conserve, i.e., conserve our country, which the Tory party at the moment don't do. They're just one of the same as Labour at the minute. So that's what I wanted to say. Just remember that.
well, like you said earlier about the popularity in terms of Reform and between Nick Tenconi and Rupert Lowe, for instance. I think Rupert Lowe at the moment has the popularity of anyone wanting to make real change in this country. I think he's got a surge in popularity. A lot more people are now knowing who he is, whereas before people didn't know. And the reason people are knowing is because, there's stuff being shared all over online because he's saying the right things. Again, I think with Nick Tenconi, people don't know who Nick Tenconi is. We need to get him out there more. We need to, promote them, like I say. We've got 4 years. No one needs to make any voting decision for which party right now. All we can do is try and grow UKIP if you believe, and in their manifesto, it's in your hearts. Whereas you think about Reform and people say, oh, they'll vote Reform, but not with Nigel Farage as leader. Now, even if Nigel Farage was to step aside and Rupert Lowe was to take over as the Reform Party, they all follow the same manifesto. So yeah, Rupert Lowe is saying all the right things, but it's still the Reform Party. I don't think it, necessarily really matters who leads. I think it's all about the manifesto and the party's manifesto.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is an interesting point, I suppose. Whereas with UKIP's manifesto, I've yet to read it fully, but, from watching Nick Tenconi a lot over the past couple of months, he's saying everything I want to hear, and he's very extreme to the point about, dealing with the situations. Whereas
I think
the likes of
Reform... I think extreme is the wrong word. I think radical is a good word. He's used radical.
Yeah.
Liam used radical. I think radical is a more accurate word than extreme because the ideas are radical, but they are needed. I say get involved in the comments, people. If you want to come up and hit the link, but yeah, definitely get your view across so we can discuss it. If you want, I'll try and get the manifesto points up. I'll read them out. I think it'll be important.
So Denise Langham, Farage is in it for his own ego. I mean, that could very well be right. If you think about it, Reform Party, no one really knew who they were before Nigel Farage took over. Nigel Farage is an immensely popular character, and that is why Reform grew so big in such a short time when he took over, because everyone knew who Nigel Farage is. And let's face it, Nigel Farage is a likeable character, I mean, I had a lot of respect for Nigel Farage. I really liked Nigel Farage. He said all the right things I wanted to hear. But since he's come into power, he's now saying things that, we don't want to hear about. If we alienate the whole of Islam, we won't win. Throwing Tommy under the bus. All these little things.
Do you think that he's one of the same when he could be controlled opposition under the same guise of, somebody way ahead of, our pay grade, as it were? As a controlled opposition, there was always opposition. Nothing ever really got done, but you had an opposition. Now that the Tories and Labour are so similar, haven't Reform taken that position now as controlled opposition? It's something Nick Tenconi mentioned in the Liam Tufts interview, and definitely.
I don't think he could be controlled. I don't think Nigel Farage can be.
Of course he can.
Yeah,
he's only in it for the money.
It's like he said about, Tommy Robinson. He says, he won't change his stance on anything, once he's said what he thinks, that's it. So, but no, I don't think he's control necessarily. And I still think he wants the best for Great Britain. Obviously, he wants a lot better than we do. He probably does believe in, stopping the boats, etc. But he's not going to make the radical changes that we need to turn this country around and get it on the, on the right foot again.
That's the thing. He's a political antagonizer, is he? Is he leadership material? Is he prime minister material? Yes, he speaks well. Yes, I've enjoyed
I think
things
so.
he's done in the past. He's a great political antagonizer. But is he a leader? Is he a leader of a country? Can he make those tough decisions?
Oh, I think he would. I think he could. It's just a shame because, obviously we all support and back Tommy Robinson. He's our guy, he's our hero. So we don't want to hear, from Nigel Farage, defaming him and slandering him and throwing him under the bus. We want him to support him, and he's not going to do that. So he's going to lose a lot of vote there. But if it came to it and he did win the vote and he was the prime minister, I still think he'd do a fairly good job. He'd certainly, I think, deal with the issue of stopping the boats, quite quickly and better in the country. But he's not going to, he's not going to do it as much as I think.
Well, that's what he's come out and said, hasn't he? He said zero tolerance. He's going to stop. He reckons he'll stop the boats, but he's not going to deport all the illegals that are already here. He's had to kind of find a middle ground. Whereas Nick Tanconi will deport all the illegals and stop the boats. So you're getting more for your buck, I think, with UKIP, which will then free up money that we're wasting on the hotels, the food, the new mobile phones. It will reduce the crime that then gets committed by them in our towns and cities. Yeah, it's win-win, isn't it? Whereas I think
Pretty
Reform
much.
they're just bending over now. They're trying to, they're not sticking firm like they were before.
Yeah, I think it's the same with anyone though. And when they're fighting, for a seat, fighting for power, fighting for popularity, they're gonna say all the right things and they're gonna push for that because they want the vote. Now that he's got his seat in Parliament, it doesn't matter as much, but he still needs to win, government. He still needs to lead this country. So I'm surprised that he's, softening up a bit. But
you mentioned Tommy. What vote does he want? By him and Tice chucking that lot under the bus, what was the estimated number of Reform voters? I mean, how many were there on that day and how many had their hands up? Do you know what I mean? He's lost.
Yeah.
And I saw, as soon as Richard Tice made that comment, I saw within a couple of days in comments, easily, I'd say, and this is just what I saw, 25% probably left Reform and joined UKIP.
Yeah.
Easily a quarter. So, yeah.
But still, I mean, even in the latest opinion poll shows that Farage is way ahead now in terms of battle for popularity.
Yeah,
Labour and Conservatives are behind, but he is way ahead. And I think he's going to stay. He's going to stay like that. But yeah, we still got to try and build UKIP up, try and get their Nick Tanconi involved and spread information about him. So let's play this little clip from the Southampton rally, which was yesterday, just to give you an idea of Nick Tanconi and who he is and how passionate he is. So this was him doing his little speech at Southampton yesterday. It's about a minute and a half long. So we'll play that.
When do we want it? Now! Whose streets? Whose streets? Whose streets? Whose streets?
Citizens, we stand on a great threshold. The time for action has come. The time for action is now. We are being called to reclaim Britain as our own and to deliver justice to those who have had their lives destroyed by migrant terrorism. We owe it to our forefathers and our children to return Britain to its former glory, magnificent and proud, and most of all, unafraid. Well, today, patriots, fear no longer controls us. We control fear. Citizens, I have a question for you. Do you stand with me? Yeah! Do I have the political will? Yeah! The occupation of Britain must end. The liberation of Britain begins today. Are you with me? Yeah! Are you with me? Yeah! The revolution has begun. Forward march!
So yeah, that's Nick Tinconi. As you can see, he's a very passionate man, patriot. And could you imagine Nigel Farage going around doing what he's doing? You couldn't really, could you? No, because he hasn't got the passion like Nick Tinconi has. And, you know, as you see with Tinconi as well, you know, he refers to you as patriots. He knows that you want to save your country. He knows you're patriotic, and therefore he calls you patriots. He doesn't just go around, you know, call you the people or, you know, whatever. You're patriots. And that's what I like about him as well. You know, he's passionate, he's strong. And you can see from that clip there, you know.
Well, he said earlier on that he's sticking up for the most vulnerable. So, you know, the things that are most important to him are women, children, disabled, and the elderly. And obviously, all from our country. Our country first.
Well, that's it. He says all the right things, and he sticks up for the British people. He sticks up for the elderly. He'll stick up for everything that's, you know, that we believe in. And so that's it. We just got to push now and try and get him popular, get him out there, get people knowing about Nick Tinconi. And like I say, all we can do is help them grow, right? And then make a decision in 4 years when the general election comes as to, you know, who to vote for. But for now, I'd say back them and keep backing them.
Definitely got to raise the profile as well and have a look at their policies and their points, because, you know, everything that he talks about, everything he says when he's out marching, you know, that's exactly what our country needs. Just checking the comments. You saw that one. There you go.
Ryan Duddle, this man needs to be our PM. Exactly. So, you know, he's way more patriotic. See, what we need, you know, someone who leads Great Britain needs to be a true patriot in his heart, which I believe Nick Tinconi is. So, completely agree. He needs to be our PM, and he could be. Like I say, we just got to try and back him, try and grow, and make him the PM. He'll soon sort out the issues. He doesn't pussyfoot around the situation. He says it how it is. You know, he says we're going to stop the boat straight away, mass migration, remigrate.
Does anyone else want to come up and have their say, what they think about Nick or Farage or the two parties? Feel free to hit the StreamYard link.
Yeah, if anyone wants to come up, hit the link and come up and chat.
I wonder if the interview's still on at the moment. They're probably all still watching that. It was a really good interview.
Yeah, I'm going to have to rewatch it again later. Roger Boy, UKIP will only split the reform vote. Stand down, girl, you're not helping. Well, no, this is what I've just explained. And what I'm trying to explain is he's not going to split the vote. If we need to vote for reform in 4 years' time when the general election comes, we vote reform. You know, whether it's a tactical vote or whatever, we vote reform. So I don't think it's going to split the vote necessarily, because the voting isn't done now. Now we just got to support the party that we believe in, who we, you know, the party in our hearts, who's really.
If you read their policies or you read their manifesto and you agree with them, or you agree with most of them, that's the party you've got to vote for. If everyone stick to that, we'll actually have a country run by, you know, what the majority of the people want.
Yeah,
that's how I see it.
So like I say, you know, UKIP they're not gonna split the reform vote. You know, they're gonna split the support for now, which is fine, but we you know, we're not voting for 4 years, so for now we can back them. You know, if you really believe in UKIP, back them, and then when 4 years comes, if you think reform needs to vote, UKIP split in nothing, we vote reform. We get.
The thing is, UKIP need funding. They're membership funded, so they're not, you know, company funded like I suppose all the others, and even reform. You know, with their sponsors, etc., etc. I mean, granted, people can donate money, but at the moment, the new UKIP, it's all membership funded. So,
and that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing, you know. And that's what I'm saying, Roger. You know, I was in the same frame of mind. I've been sitting in the get my words out tonight. I've been sitting on the fence for the past couple of months, thinking, oh, I really want to promote vote UKIP, but I can't because we'll split the vote, reform, we'll lose the vote, which can't happen. We got to get Labour out. That was me. And I thought to myself, well, I'm going to be sitting on the fence for the next 4 years otherwise for that same situation. But now I'm off the fence because I gave it some thought. And I thought, well, like I say,
think
we got 4 years.
I think
we don't have to
Denise
vote
has made a good
just now.
comment in the comments about the MSN won't give him a platform, and it's true. Whenever I try and share something, a video about Nick Tanconi, it doesn't seem to do well on YouTube either. So I think that's a very good point.
Yeah, the mainstream media won't give them a platform.
Definitely keywords as
No.
well.
Yeah, you do make an excellent point there, actually, Denise. They won't, will they? Obviously, Farage has GB News, but he was a GB News regular before taking over Reform, wasn't he? So he already had that platform, and he's still using that platform.
It's all about small channels, I think. It's the new media, us citizen journalists, you guys and girls with your cameras. If you're putting videos up, do a video about Nick. Spread the word if you support him, because, like Denise says, the MSN aren't going to give him a platform. He's not part of their plan. So,
and this is why people are turning off the mainstream media, and they're starting to, migrate to the new media as we grow. Like me, this little channel, our little channels, and all the other channels out there. You got the big channels like Paul Thorpe, etc., Maya Tusi, who probably could promote, Nick Tanconi, and more people watch them than the MSN anyway. So
but even they've gone really quiet on UKIP, which surprises me. I mean, I'd at least like it to be fair. Do you know what I mean? At least they've given Nick an interview today, decent interview, so we can learn more about him. But for the last month, they're very in favour of Ben Habib. I think Ben Habib's another good candidate.
Yeah.
But they've been very, one-sided. They haven't really given UKIP much of a voice or anything. I reckon because they're scared of splitting the vote as well. At the end of the day, what we want is change, from the two main parties. But what if that change comes at a cost? Do you really want to just vote for the next best thing at the moment, which is reform? Or do you actually want to vote for a party that's going to make a difference and give us what we want? You have to look at the policies. You have to see everything that they're basically campaigning for. Yeah,
and that's exactly it. That's my thoughts as well. It was another reason I was sitting on the fence. Is I was thinking, what happens? What happens when Tommy comes out of prison and says, right, to his followers, let's vote this or let's vote that. Most people are going to follow his word and go with what he says. But there's so much talk about, Tommy enjoying his activism. I mean,
we wouldn't want to lose him. Party, or not at the moment.
No. It's like we wouldn't want to necessarily lose him to politics because he's great at activism and he's great at calling, highlighting and uncovering
and reporting.
Issues
let's not forget the amount of
and reporting
he's gathered. Yeah.
But if he did decide, right, okay, I'm going to get into politics, well, Nick Tanconi and UKIP are the party that said they would have him. They'd have him in UKIP. He'd be a member of UKIP and he'd be able to run for a seat in Parliament. So that's another thing we've got, with UKIP going for us is that. But still, we'll see, If he comes out and says, white guys want you to vote UKIP,
along
people
with
are going to do it,
Musk's
aren't they?
20 million donation, that'll be everything UKIP need, I think, to beat reform. Once they've got the money for the structure, they get the right people in the positions.
But then also,
there's no reason that they can't grow like reform did.
Well, there's also talk about the United Kingdom becoming an actual political party, isn't there? But then it could do, the United Kingdom, our movement and that. It's so big. If that was to become a party, what would happen? Would Nick Tanconi then join that? Or, there's a lot that can happen within the next 4 years. So, like I say, we don't have to worry about voting for who yet, right? Just support what you believe in.
I think we're gonna find out a lot more about that
down the line.
Yeah, I think we're going to find out a lot more about that on the 30th, to be honest, about this, the movement and the party, etc. I mean, a lot of it goes behind the movement, probably will involve the pledge. The more people that sign the pledge, that amount of people to take
That's
to
the thing,
party.
There's a lot of information to come. So Terry Taylor says Richard Inman is in UKIP, and he was with UKIP almost from day one, wasn't he?
Yeah, but
He
even
said
he's
no.
gone a bit quiet, hasn't he? I mean, he was beating the drum for UKIP a lot, especially in the early days when I heard about UKIP and Nick Tinconi. And even I think Richard Inman's been a bit quiet,
I mean,
especially on the Full Thorpe shows. He
I
hasn't
don't think
spoken
he's
up
been.
enough.
I don't think he was pushing them as much anyway, but he still backs UKIP. He even slips it in there on these lives that he still follows UKIP because he believes in them. And at first, I thought to myself, and at first I was thinking, yeah, I'd probably join, the old UKIP membership as well, but I was still sitting on the fence. So, but he believed in it, and we'll see how big they get. CS Bourne says reform just a small step in the right direction. Ultimately, even in government, they will fail. UKIP for me. Did Gert Wilders pander to the popular vote? Has he now been successful? Yeah. Well, reform are
very good.
Yeah, good comment. Reform are just a small step in the right direction. I mean, they're a huge step in the right direction compared to Labour anyway. Like I said, if Reform did win the vote and they did get into power, we'd have a lot better change already for the country, but we need radical change, which is where Nick Tinconi could do that. So,
yep, fully agree.
Yeah, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens when history had other plans.
Even in history.
Even in history. Hope you're well. So, if everyone watching can hit the like button and get in on the comments, ask your questions, say what you think about UKIP and Reform and splitting votes and things like that. We want to discuss all of it.
Or hit the StreamYard link and come up and take centre stage.
If anyone wants to come up, by all means, come up whenever you want. Have a proper discussion. I was hoping people would actually, but yeah, need a bigger audience to get people up, I suppose. So, Terry Taylor says Wilders won under PR, much harder over here. Yeah, that's the thing. It's incredibly hard over here.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of factors to take into consideration, and the rot runs deep. Like Nick Tinconi says, you've got to get them all out of the system. Two-tier judicial system, the education system, public sector. It's all been infiltrated. It all needs to be completely changed.
But then, of course, like you say, with Ben Habib as well, whether Ben Habib would rejoin Reform Party and run for leading the party when it's, able to, or whether he joins UKIP himself. I mean, he hasn't said anything about that yet. Maybe we'll ask him. We'll ask him when we go and see him. And say,
he's never,
Ben.
Yeah, he's never given any indication on joining UKIP, and I've seen a few of his News at Ben shows.
Yeah, which is interesting. So I wonder why. What his intentions are.
Yeah, well, there was a few comments, wasn't there, about his own political party or something, and then it's sort of onto the movement. The movement, I think, is more important to him. People that back Britain.
Yeah. Well, with the United Kingdom movement, the United Kingdom movement is huge, isn't it? If in the summer, for instance, we had 100,000 people in Trafalgar Square. Now, put that on a number of how many people are out there that actually support the United Kingdom movement. There's probably millions. If 100,000 could get to London and turn up, there's probably millions out there that actually support them, which is a lot of votes. So if it did become a political party and Tommy ran for a seat, Ben Habib, but I don't think Nick Tinconi, if they created a new political party with Ben Habib, even if Tommy Robinson was there as well, would Nick Tinconi leave UKIP and join that? I don't think so. I think he's, he wants to lead. He wants to be a leader. He wants to push for UKIP. Even though UKIP, people say, it's tarnished with the history of Farage. He explained that at Tinconi Talks, didn't he? About tarnishing. I think they want to rebrand, at least change the logo.
I think it needs rebranding. Right, seriously. I don't think the skinny pound sign really does it anymore. It was all right during Brexit and save the pound. Is it iconic?
Even in Bluebell?
Yeah, no,
Welcome back.
Bluebell made a really good comment. Mm-hmm.
don't put all your faith in reform with regards to change. I've seen a huge change in Farage and Tice since becoming elected, and I voted for them. Yeah, exactly. And I'm in the same boat. I did have all my faith in reform. You know, I voted for them, and then since then, of course, they've come out throwing Tommy under the bus and, you know, slander and all the other dirty stuff they've done. And their stance on migration. So now they've kind of lost the support. But again, like I say, my heart now, I think, is with UKIP, and I'm going to promote them, push them, try and build them up. And if in 4 years' time, when the general election comes, then I'll say, right, if UKIP haven't grown big enough, my vote's going to reform, whether my heart's with them or not, because we've got to get Labour out. So, yeah. So, no, all the faith is not in reform.
We have to vote. You have to vote with your heart, like you said. You have to vote for the policies that mean the most to you.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, that's like I say. Go with your heart. Go with the manifestos and the policies that you agree with. That's all you can do for now. I mean, tactical voting is a thing. When the Conservatives got back into power, what was it, last election 5 years ago, there was tactical votes then, wasn't there? Because the Conservative voters, and I think you had, what party was it? When there was a tactical vote, I think you had Nick Clegg involved.
Oh, it was still
I think it was UKIP. I think it was UKIP. Yeah, no, it was UKIP. Yeah, UKIP back then. Nigel Farage was
it was the Irish. What do you mean when they had to join up? It was the Republic of Ireland.
No, to make sure that the Conservatives won and Labour didn't, because Labour had Jeremy Corbyn as running for PM, and there was no way we could let Labour and Jeremy Corbyn lead. So I think UKIP at the time with Nigel Farage when he was running.
Yeah, they stood down, didn't they? That was right. So they wouldn't split the vote.
You know, yeah, said, look, give all your votes to Conservatives. We got to get him in. We can't have Nigel Farage sitting about, not Nigel Farage, Jeremy Corbyn. And I think the same will happen again. I think we'll try and build UKIP up, see how big they get, see if they're going to have a chance, and then when the time comes to the vote, Nick Tinconey might just turn around like before and say, right, well, obviously we've not grown big enough. You know, go vote for reform.
Yeah, but in a way I disagree, because if they grow big enough, then who's to say the two main parties in government won't be Reform and UKIP? You need to have a valid opposition to whoever's in Parliament.
Yeah.
Let's say Labour and Tories get slashed down to fourth or fifth or third. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it wouldn't be. I think it'd be
UKIP and Reform, and then that way you've got.
Well, no, it'd be. I mean, that's possible. Yeah. It'd probably be more likely a coalition
in Parliament. That's what I'm trying to say. They might not be.
It would probably
get second place, so at least they can argue the points in Parliament. You know,
it would be more like a Reform and Conservative coalition. That's the most likely outcome at the moment, anyway. But like I say, this is such early days.
Yeah, there's a long way to go. Yeah.
Yeah, such early days, so we don't have to worry about voting just yet. Worry about supporting.
If it comes to local council elections, then you'll have to vote Reform at the moment. I don't think UKIP have got enough people in positions for that one. So, yeah, definitely would have to go for that this May, this summer. But, a long way to go.
Denise Langham says we need to remember England has a constitution and use it. That's right. There's a lot we have that we don't use. It's like Ben Habib found that treaty where he said that these, Pakistani groomers, there's a treaty where we can actually send them back. We just don't use it. So,
yeah, there's a contract. If they commit crime in this country, they can be sent back and dealt with, by their law in their country.
Yeah.
But then that leads to death. So obviously, human rights gets involved. And
we also had the benefits of Brexit that we could have acted upon, and that wasn't used either because we didn't have anyone in power to use it, which surprises me because I thought Boris Johnson would have been that guy to use the benefits of the Brexit vote.
Every time he tried to do something, Labour opposed it, so nothing got done. That was the same thing every single week, wasn't it? Object. They never had any reasoning for objecting, but they objected. Remember? Everything.
Yeah.
Object. I've got no reason to back it up, but we object. So nothing ever got done. So
no, that's all they do is object. But then that's what any opposition party is going to do. If it was on the other foot, Conservatives, whoever, they'd object to anything Labour want.
Yeah, you say that, but then look at the blooming inquest into the Rotherham gangs and stuff. every single Labour MP voted against that. Not one of them stood to their bloody, what was right in their head, what they should have done, the right thing, and voted for it. They'll just listen to orders from above and voted against it. So you need a valid opposition. That's what I'm saying. Anything, enough numbers to be able to object with a right percentage. At the moment, they've got the majority, so anything they want, theoretically, they can get. So it's disgusting.
So let's read out this comment here. Nick Pauline, that lot must back UKIP. Reform / Farage, Tyson, not the answer. Just more of the same. Nick Tinkoni needs to call that lot and change their name to United Kingdom Independence Party. Yeah, that's a very good idea, actually.
I've already done a video about that and a few posts. I made a picture up of the United Kingdom Independence Party.
I like that, actually. That's good. Instead of United Kingdom, be Unite the Kingdom. But again, we must back UKIP and keep backing.
I already did some funny posts about it. I had it called the United Kingdom Independence Party, and I had Ben Habib, Nick Tinkoni, and Rupert Lowe as the three men to take us forward.
Yeah,
I think they're three good people. Mm-hmm.
I've got to sort out these stupid lights. Right, Nick Pauline again. I'm just going to have to sit in the dark. If by some miracle Elon came on side, we could see some real reform for the better. I think so, yeah. I mean, Elon Musk is a huge voice, isn't he? So if he decided to come out and say, I mean, I don't actually think Elon Musk knows much about Nick Tinkoni and UKIP as well. But once he's done more research, I suppose, and he's heard more about them, he might well bung them a load of money and say, right, go on. Yeah, because I think what they need 20 million or something to stand good.
They reckon they can get the structure and everything else on about 2 million, but for it to be successful and massive and have everything in place, you're probably looking at 20 million. Once you take into account advertising, paraphernalia, all the rest of it, wages for the people that they get in, headquarters, etc., etc. It all adds up.
But then again, as well, like Elon Musk might be waiting for Tommy to come out and see what he says. He might have, he might sit down and have a chat with him and say,
I think that's very plausible.
Get his advice on who to support, to give the money to and support. Terry Taylor, Boris' wife opposed it. Well, opposed what the Brexit discussion, I think.
I heard a few things down Speaker's Corner today about Boris and Zionism and their wives, etc. Conspiracy.
Yeah,
I don't know
it all goes on at Speaker's Corner, doesn't it? Nick Pauline. If by some miracle Elon came aside, we could see some real... Oh, we read that one, didn't we? Oh, you put the same comment twice. Yeah. Yeah. So we hope to get Elon on side. We've already got him on side with Tommy, to be honest. He's funding both his cases. He's funding the current case on him being in solitary confinement. I mean, there's a lot of beef at the moment, isn't there? People saying, he shouldn't be on solitary confinement. No one should be there that long. But isn't it his choice? Isn't it because it's the safest place for him to be? Because if he's not in solitary confinement,
possibly
he's going to be, if he's not in solitary confinement, he's going to be on the wing. And if he's on the wing, Islamists will get to him.
Bottom line, he should have a tag around his leg and be going home every day or something. He's a civil prisoner. But the fact the fact they put him in a category D prison, with some of the worst Islamic murderers, etc., criminals in the same prison, then I suppose welfare, his own personal safety, etc. That's probably the best they can offer.
Well, I thought that as well.
Heard from people that have visited, you've got to go through a certain amount of cages, bars, rooms, and areas before you even get to him. So I'm sure they've got secluded areas that they could have sectioned off, but then.
Well, I thought that as well. Like, if he was to be put into a Cat D prison or a more open prison or out on tag, etc., isn't that still too unsafe for him?
I wouldn't have thought so. No.
Like, you'd think he'd be more easily got at, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but he's got his freedom, so he's got his freedom to protect himself as well. not reliant
Yeah.
on the justice system.
No, but at least yeah, at least Elon's backing him now, and he's backing that stupid terrorism charge as well, where they want to, want his mobile number, his pass to his phone.
When's that coming
So,
out? March, isn't it?
March the 20th, I believe. Yeah, I think March the 20th is his court date for that.
Right.
So yeah, what else? What else do we have to say about Reform and Nick Tinconi, etc.? No one, no comments, no.
Anyone else coming up to have a little talk about this? Say your piece.
Yeah, if there is anyone in the chat, anyone here watching who wants to actually come up and give your thoughts and speak, links there.
Up to 16 viewers now, doing well.
Yeah, up to 16. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what else more to say really. Kind of covered everything.
Well, we haven't got anything we can say about the future events that they've got going on, apart from February the 1st. I'm sure. Well, I know Nick Tinconi will be there, won't he? We've got the February the 1st coming up, starting at Waterloo.
February the 1st. Yeah, it's important everyone to be there. It's like at the last event, people were worried that people weren't going to show up because Tommy was inside. Now, obviously, a lot of people want to go and they want to see Tommy, and he draws those people. But we still need, to be as big a group as possible, even if he's not there.
Tommy said it himself. The movement is far greater than him. That's what you've got to think about with United Kingdom. It's about the movement, what we're trying to achieve as a whole.
Yeah.
Tommy's one of the parts that make up the engine, as it were. There's a lot of other people involved, including us. We've got to show ourselves, and we've got to stick up for what we believe in.
I mean, I'll be at every single one of them, making my video documentary as well, giving the highlights of the day. So I think there's a video on my channel. There's 2 videos actually, which for the past 2 events, and I'll be making another one for February the 1st, and each time they'll get better and better as I learn my skills.
And I will be live again, live and direct.
Yeah, so that's one of the things I wanted to do with this channel as well, is to promote the United Kingdom movement as much as possible. And the more we can promote them, the better it will be. We need to get as many people around the United Kingdom as possible to join the movement, be there, have your voices heard. The more the people, the louder the voice, the more the voice gets heard. And that's what we got to do. So I will always promote that and keep on promoting that.
I say we've done it. Yeah, we've done it ourselves. We started off as a 2 became 4. I think we've got at least 6 coming now this time. So our numbers are growing just alone. So if everyone's numbers can grow, it will grow organically.
We got says Sparky Creation says can't wait till Saturday. Yeah, I can't wait as well. I hope the weather's going to be good. I haven't actually checked the weather. Have you? What's the weather going to be like?
It's going to be cold.
Is it? Well, I know it's going to be cold, but I don't want to be messing around with no umbrellas when I'm trying to record and stuff. So hopefully the rain stays away.
This is England, man. Pack an umbrella either way.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, Saturday the 1st is going to be brilliant. I mean, they're putting on a lot more entertainment on this one. I think bands, singers, like we had in the Trafalgar Square one. I think we're going to be leaving that one with a good feel-good factor, which is pretty much like all of them are. But this one, I think, is going to be better than the last one.
They want a good feel-good factor, don't they, for this one?
Yeah,
but the thing is, I mean,
British culture.
Whenever we have one of these events, it's like a great celebration. You got the music there, you got the speakers, and everyone's smiling, everyone's happy, and it's a great gathering. But you're still going to come away with some sort of upset because Tommy's locked away and all the negatives that are going on. But even then, we can voice our concerns at the movements and still be happy and have a great celebration of being British and our British values. But actually, thinking out.
You missed out one more thing. The fake note prank. Check my video.
Yeah.
on the
That's
last
quite funny.
Go on, carry on.
Yeah, Nick Pauline says, we have watched Nick Tinconi for years before he became leader of UKIP. I'm sure he is the closest thing to a UK version of Trump. Yeah, I mean, I'd agree with that. I think a lot of people are saying that Tommy Robinson is, our Trump, if you like, but he's not into politics, so our next best choice is Nick Tinconi.
Yeah, he's been the
who
leader of
again?
Turning Point for the last, 3 years, 5 years? And Turning
Yeah.
Point UK, I don't know if you know, but they sort of have been in the universities countering all the liberal extremist left propaganda, all the Antifa lot that come out and try and counter protest anything good for the country. Yeah, they were basically working in our universities for the last few years, trying to, propaganda and brainwash people into joining them. And him being the leader of Turning Point was countering that. So,
Yeah.
trying to do the opposite. So he's been doing good stuff for the country.
That's the thing is,
UKIP.
I didn't know about Nick Tinconi until a few months ago, and I even said to someone, I didn't know who Nick Tinconi was, and considering how patriotic I am, and believe in all these sorts of people like Nick Tinconi, you think I would have heard about him, but I didn't. So that's the thing. I just don't think his name's out there. I think we got to get his name out there more often. All the little media channels as well need to post information up on him and who he is. Yeah, I think that too. Late arrival. Sorry to burst your bubble, guys, but as a member of the US government, he cannot make a donation to the opposition in a different country. What does that mean? Opposition in a different country? Of course he can.
I think we were talking about making an outside donation to a political party. There might be different rules or laws in America that make
Nigel Farage already went over the fact that, yes, if he wants to make a donation to Reform Party, he can and will accept it. So he didn't say, oh, no, he can't because of US government not being able to do it. Elon Musk can do what he likes. It's Elon Musk.
I think that's what he means. I think he means because Elon Musk is now a member of the US government.
Oh, yeah.
If you read it right, he cannot make a donation to an opposition in a different country. Elon Musk has a lot of businesses and a lot of friends there. I'm sure he'll be able to find some money somewhere, somehow, if he wanted to.
That's interesting. I'll have to look into that then.
Yeah, it's a very good comment. Thanks for bringing it up. Later arrival.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to look into that. That does sound interesting, if that now is the government. But like I say, I mean, surely they'll find a way around it if they want.
Who's to say he hasn't already made the donation before he actually started with Trump this week?
Yeah.
He has been sharing it over social media for how long now? A month, would you say?
Yeah.
So there's always that possibility as well.
I don't think he's made anything donation-wise yet. I think if they did, they have to have full transparency, don't they? I think, isn't that a rule? Like with Keir Starmer getting all the clothes and everything else and those donations, he had to be fully transparent.
If somebody wants to make a donation, without giving away their identity, I'm sure they can. You can probably look online. How can I donate to the Labour Party? I bet there's a telephone number where you give your credit card. Do you know what I mean? It must be easy. So, yeah.
Nick Pauline says he can make a donation from a UK company, which he has, I believe. Well, there you go then.
Okay.
So if he has a UK, how many?
Do we know any UK companies that he owns or helps?
No, but there was talk.
UK, so that's his company, isn't it?
There was talk that he wanted to buy Liverpool FC though, so that'd be a company. Pretty sure that Elon Musk got some kind of business here anyway. I mean, he's bound to have some sort of.
Tesla have got their own Tesla UK, segment in the UK, so it's all owned by him, I guess. It's a UK registered company. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nick, that's how he was going to donate to Reform. Okay, so it looks like he can then, one way or another, make a donation. In which case, does that mean that we are sorry to burst late arrivals bubble?
Well, let's not forget as well that Reform isn't a democratised party yet. It is a business. So maybe as a business, he can make a donation to Reform. I don't want to burst the bubble back, but it's not a democratised party yet. So.
I'm still going to look into that, though. But, says, as an LFC fan, I would be very happy if he did. I wouldn't be, because as a fan of not Liverpool, I don't want them to have the money. They're already good enough. So,
Sparkly Creations, how long have you supported Liverpool for?
Yeah, I'm an Arsenal fan, so Liverpool are
we're chasing you down.
Quite likely rivals at the moment. So I don't need them getting Elon's money.
We're on our way.
If anything, he needs to buy Arsenal, get them bloody people out, and stick some money in there for us to buy a striker. But yeah, So
We've spent enough money in the last 3 years.
yeah. So anyone else got any more questions? Anything else to discuss? While I give you your chance to do that, I'm going to play my video now because it's a patriotic video, well worth listening to. That promotes
Well
the
done,
1st of
Scott, yeah.
February, and hopefully it uplifts you. So I'm going to play that. It's a couple of minutes long. Hope you enjoy it. You've probably already seen it if you follow me, if you're subscribed, but I'm going to play it anyway for anyone that hasn't.
Can't hear any sounds.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm just syncing that as well. Okay, no sound. That's unfortunate. But you can see it. It's a good talk over, I think, anyway. I think I did a good job in trying to uplift the Patriots that we have and, yeah, get them all geared up for the event. Why is there no sound, though? I don't know why.
Yeah, what happened to
I
the
haven't had
sound?
that
You'll try and play it again.
It's probably because I tried to play it in a different screen format than the one I normally do. If I do it like this might actually work. We'll try it again. So, no, we won't, because I removed it. There we go. If you want to watch the patriotic video, it's my latest uploaded video, so go and have a look at that after the stream. That would be great. And yeah, put your comments in and likes on that video, because it's not getting shared. It's not getting shown to people. You know, there's millions of patriots in this country, and I think it's been shared to about 50 of them. So, unfortunately, I need the likes, the comments to push the algorithm and get it shown out more and shared if possible. As I believe that will uplift a lot of people and get more people to actually join on February the 1st. So, yeah, please do that. Says since 1990, my dad got me into footy. Yeah, long time ago. I think it was 82. I think no, not 82. That's about 1990 when I started supporting them as well. Actually,
Who, Liverpool?
no. Well, I went for a phase, didn't I, where I supported Newcastle because of
Newcastle.
Alan Shearer. Alan Shearer was like my hero as a child, and then but I soon went back to the Gunners. So.
You soon saw sense.
Yeah.
That's right. Thierry Henry hit the scene.
That's it. But yeah, no, actually lived at Highbury for a while, so I was down there every day. Late arrival says foreign nationals can make a donation to any party in the country, but not if you're part of another country's government. Check it out. So yeah, says and knows the stuff. So but yeah, I think we're going to wrap this up then, because no one's coming up. There's not too many questions, and I think we've covered everything that we wanted to cover without only repeating ourselves. So
I was just thinking about what you said earlier about, you know, the United Kingdom movement, Ben Habib and all that joining up and becoming a party or what have you. It just jogged my memory of something that they were going to talk about. Yeah, here it is. On the Ben Habib night that we're doing on the 30th, they're going to be talking about how to preserve our special union.
Right.
Just having a little look through it, because I'm sure there was something about making a... Yeah, I think there's definitely going to be some talk, I think, on what his future thoughts are on whether or not he starts the party up. So yeah, keep subscribed to us, hit the notification bell and everything, so we're going to bring you up to date information on that. I'm going to try and do a live as well, so you'll hear it first before anyone.
Yeah, One usually does a live at some stage as well, so be sure to go over and give him a sub. I'm usually the guest on his one, and he's the guest on my one, so you know, it's easier that way to have someone to talk to and discuss.
Sharing is caring and all that.
That's it. So Bluebell says it was Tommy who told the team to organise it. People were writing to him asking when the next one will be. Yeah, that's right. I think even before that, but That's great. Oh, actually, we're not going to wrap it up because we got Danny Roscoe coming up. By the looks of it.
Come on, Danny. Come on.
Let's bring up Danny.
What's
There he
going on,
is.
brother? What's going on?
Are you
good?
How you doing, Danny?
Yes,
Not
Danny.
too
I'm good,
bad,
mate. How are you?
How you doing?
It was good to see you pop up there, actually, because we were just going to wrap it up because we weren't getting any questions and no one was coming up. And then I see you pop up, so great. We
I
can,
shared it earlier, and I was going to come on it earlier, but I got a poorly child, so I've been in and out. So I thought, I'll just jump on now. So if I'm too late, I'll just disappear.
Yeah. So Danny, what do you think of UKIP? You're a supporter of Nick Tenkoni as well, aren't you?
UKIP, yeah. UKIP's the way to go. I think it's the only way we can get back our country, because all the other people are either, they're corrupt, or they're under someone's control, or they're just not there for the people. So that's all the other parties. The only other one that is going to be there for the people, who is speaking our words, or speaking my words anyway, is UKIP. And Nick is doing a great job pushing it forward.
Yeah, no, I fully agree with you on that one. I say I was on the fence maybe about a month ago, but then as soon as Nigel Farage chucked us lot down, under the bus along with Richard Tice, I completely got away from reform. And I saw in the last sort of 2 or 3 days after that, they must have lost about 25% of their support over to UKIP. I say, I can't say nothing bad about Nick Tenkoni. He says everything that we need right now. It's the only way our country is going to change. And again, mirror those words. He's doing a great job. Southampton proves it.
Exactly. Southampton was brilliant. Southampton was a really good turnout. I know a lot of people that are down there and down that way, and it was good for the town. The town was saying, we need something like this, because we are, we have a lot of the issues that are going on. You've got 2 universities there. So you've got a lot of the woke student lobby who are going to be down there. You've got a lot of people who are the communists through the student lobbies, the Marxists through the student lobbies. So it's good to have, a patriotic voice. And did you see the thing he put out today of his walk down, him and a few people
with the music,
and that's Nick. Nick's doing it. He's on a mission, and nothing is going to stop him. And that's where I see the difference between him and every other party. We've got the parties who have security and have all this, and they would never be seen on the streets, right? And then you have Nick, who is doing everything on the street. He's doing everything that you shouldn't do as a politician, right? This is what they say. Yeah. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't be walking with. He does it all. He does activism. He does politics. He does podcasts. He's doing the whole 9 yards, and that's what's going to set him apart. Because people are going to see that, and they're going to be like, "Well, hang on a minute. He's not afraid of the values that he holds." When we see a lot of these people up there who are afraid of the people that they're supposed to be representing. The MPs, you don't see it hardly ever now in MP office. I was talking earlier on today, how many MPs have got offices now, or how many MPs use Starbucks and Costa and Weatherspoons every month? They go around. That's what they do, because they're scared of the people. They don't want to have an office there because they don't want to have a location where a lot of people can turn up and say, we want answers.
Yeah, and that's what I played at the start of the show today. Earlier on was Nick Tenkoni at Southampton doing his speech in front of the banner. And I was commenting and saying how passionate and patriotic that man actually is.
Exactly.
You can see it there. You couldn't see Nigel Farage doing that. And I mentioned as well how he calls you patriots, because he knows you're patriots and you want to save this country. He doesn't just call you that lot or somebody or the people. You're patriots, and I think he's fantastic. And I was just going over how I was on the fence before about UKIP or reform.
Yeah.
And I gave it a lot of thought, and I thought to myself, well, we got 4 years until we even have to vote, right? So we don't have to worry about who we support right now. If we can go with our hearts, support UKIP, push UKIP, and try and grow them as big as they can. And then if 4 years come, when the vote, when it's time to vote, we can say, right, we're going to vote reform, so the Labour doesn't get in, see how big UKIP are. But for now, all we can do is support UKIP and, just try and grow them as big as possible.
Exactly. And there's a lot of people out there that are going to say reform are the ones to go forward. Okay, then cool. Let's just park that bus there. Reform is, and these are the people that are saying reform are the only ones that are going, who are supposed to be, on the same sides as UKIP. So it'd be a split between UKIP and reform. But they're happy that Nigel Farage, he doesn't like us at all. He doesn't like the working class, because we're not his type of people. He'll use us for votes, right? And that's quite clear by the way that he talks and his mannerisms, right? Same with Richard Tice. They have, Nigel Farage has been around Hope Not Hate since UKIP days, right? So UKIP days there, he was talking to Hope Not Hate, and they were telling him who to get out of the membership. He's done it now in Reform, so you've got that. And his latest thing is he's said on GB News that majority of his support now is coming from the Red Wall Labour supporters. So this is the issue. So now people are saying Reform is the legitimate thing, but Reform now is going to be more Labour. Then they're going to be.
Have they become the controlled opposition?
Exactly. This is the thing. That's the thing you've got to seriously look at. Are they? I believe they are. All right. I believe they came in at that time because if you think about it, at the time when the government was putting down their election plans, right? So there's election, that's when Nigel come out, when he saw us. We was all out on Parliament Square on the second United Kingdom. He knew there was a lot of people, right? The establishment, right? They knew it. They needed somewhere for the anger and aggression to go. Then all of a sudden, Nigel Farage not only jumps out and says, I'm part of the party now, everyone goes and backs it. So what better person have you got? Someone who just wants some extra money or a bit of controversy, right? He doesn't really want to do anything, and he can be controlled by Conservatives. What better? It's a win-win. You don't have to vote for the Conservatives. You can vote for Reform. Now, many of the Conservatives are going over to Reform, and the people who are supporting are saying they're happy about it. They're giving all sorts of excuses for Nigel Farage. So you've got the Conservatives, right, going over to Reform. So that's good for that. Then you've got Hope Not Hate things coming out. No one cares about it. Then you've got them disrespecting the British people. No, we're all cool. That means that is a controlled situation there now, because Nigel can go then back into the Conservative Party and become the majority. 141 seats. The last vote, the last poll, 141 seats for the Conservatives, 190 seats for Reform. Right, that's a majority right there. So Nigel Farage will go to Conservatives, like I said at the beginning, and say we've got to join forces. I'm the leader. I'll get all the people.
Yeah, it's like I said as well. How when Jeremy Corbyn was running for Prime Minister, and back then when UKIP was with Nigel Farage, even then they told everyone to don't vote for us, vote for Conservatives, to make sure Jeremy Corbyn doesn't go in, right? And I think the same could happen again. We can get behind UKIP, try and get them, to be as big enough to run this country. And if they don't, they'll probably turn around. Nick will probably turn around then and say, right, you got to give your vote to Reform because we can't have Labour going on another term,
No.
So,
do you know what? Do you know what it is? It's Reform. It's UKIP, or you're going to burn your country down, and we'll watch you burn it. We'll give you one chance. Your one chance is UKIP. If nobody votes for UKIP and they vote for Reform, then that's on everyone else now. And we will start having to have these people being held accountable for themselves. We'll have to see every single stabbing that happens, every child murder, every immigration thing that happens. We're going to then say, that's on you guys, all of the supporters. And I don't care who it is. I've been anti-Reform, even when it was pushed by people who are very close to me, right? They're saying, Danny, no, they're not. I know what they are. So the one chance is UKIP, right? People can take it, or they can go down the glitz and glamour of a CEO, a chairman who's a Muslim. The treasurer, Nick Candy, who is very close to Blair, Johnson, and Mandelson. Very close. This is good friends, right? You've got Richard Tice, who likes to put all his money in the Panamanian bank accounts. You've got all of this around Reform, yet people are saying UKIP are the ones, they're the ones not good. No. If you don't vote for UKIP, you won't say go and vote for Reform. You all vote for Reform, and it's all onto you.
So you're saying that in 4 years from now, if the general election was like next week, he would still say vote for UKIP, even if he believes that he won't going to win.
Well, he believes his policies are the ones that are going to save the country. So he's not going to say. He's not going to say. He'll be part of the establishment. I mean, he would be controlled opposition. If he then turns around and says, you know what, actually, just vote for the inferior people because they've got the seats. That's not how. That's how the old politicians work, right? The old politics, and we're going to lend a vote and all this. No. This is UKIP. We are going to be the Trump-style politicians the Trump style party, right? Whereas it's all or nothing. We will give you
said earlier,
what the country needs, right? We'll give you that. We will say that this is what the country needs, and we'll give it you, right? No ifs, no buts. Like today, Colombia wouldn't allow Trump to land a plane full of their people. Yeah. So what's Trump done? You can't take your people back. There is now 25% tariffs on all your stuff. We're gonna chuck out all your embassies. We're gonna do X, Y, and Z. This is what we're gonna be doing, and this is what the people want, right? But if the people don't vote for that, then that's it. That's on you. That's on the people who didn't vote. Now you're gonna lay in the bed that you chose. And there's not gonna be no deals or anything. It's pointless.
The way
I
see it is Nick, he's here for real people. You know, he's coming from real people. He's putting real people in the positions and that within the party that need to be there. He's not following the Eton schoolboy line of politicians that the other two have, which is a good thing. You know, he's representing us, and he's doing what people want. That's the thing. Him going out on the streets and all the rest of it, people can see now that he's doing what they want. Do you know what I mean? None of the other politicians will do that. You know, they say what you want to hear and then do the opposite. He, I think, is actually following through and doing what we want. You know, it's in his policies. If you don't agree with the policies, you don't agree with saving Great Britain. This is our last chance to save Great Britain, and you have to vote for UKIP.
That's it. Plain, that is it. One Jemmy. It's plain as simple as that. You know, that's it. So if you don't want it, you vote someone else.
It's about courage. He said it before. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. We've all been liberalised over the last loads of years. Do you know what I mean? With all these things we've had to accept. So it is radical. It is shocking to a lot of people. But you have to, like you said, you've got to pick a side now. You have to. This is our last chance.
Exactly. And he was on. He did a podcast with Liam Tufts on the dozen. So if you're not, I don't know if he's on the same time.
I watched 2 hours of it.
Watched about half of it.
Brilliant.
You watched about half of it. Did you watch it when he said about I'm not gonna? Liam was like, I'm really getting to. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but would you accept racists? Right.
That's the
he turns around and he's perplexed about that.
People always call UKIP racist.
He said about the vetting system.
Point in that.
Yeah, so he's perplexed about that, and he's like he's saying, "Well, I've never thought in that way. I've never had to be in that way. That's their way. Do you know what I mean? That's the left way. But if we want to talk about racism, let's talk about white racism. If we want to talk about radicalization, let's talk about the radicalization against white people, and that's what people need in this country." Right? Because, like you say, everyone's been liberalized. Everyone's been, let's accept this and that and the other. No. This is what's going on, my friends. This is how it's going to end. So if you want to do that, then you can be liberalized or whatever and let it happen. Or you can say, you know what, let's try and fight.
We have to use shock tactics to make people realise the truth. Do you know what I mean? Because people, the media, they've done it for years. People are brainwashed. You see things happening in front of your eyes. Rather than going and helping, you're going to pull out a phone and record it. You see that everywhere now.
Everywhere.
People have lost courage, and I think we need to get our courage back.
Exactly.
That is a good point. Like if someone's getting beaten up, people are more likely to get out their phones. Get the phones out, let's record this, rather than actually go and help the person getting beaten up. It's like
exactly.
Look after our community, our country.
Where before that, where before people would be running to stop what's going on, it is like you say, it's what happened. It's horrible. I think it's a bad state of affairs.
This nation, I think this nation's in a bad place though, because we've kind of lost. Most people have lost their courage. And I don't know. I mean, I think back to a couple of years ago when you had all them stabbings in London, where they were just going around stabbing them young women and young men. And I remember watching one of those clips and seeing everyone running away while that woman was screaming, "Help me, help me!" And I thought to myself, all these men, all these people are running away while some woman's getting killed, shouting, "Help me, help me!" and no one's helping.
That was the Westminster Bridge attack, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it. And I thought, and ever since then, I thought to myself, where the hell is the courage gone in this country? I mean, there's still courageous people out there, but there's not enough.
Nick, like I say, you said it in Liam Tuft's interview. Nick's covered all those points, and it's definitely worth a watch. I mean, people always like when you try and talk. Well, friends of mine that are a bit liberal, you mention UKIP straight away. It's a racist party. It's far right. But he's actually addressed those issues. I think in his interview now with Liam Tufts, the whole thing about does he hate all Muslims? He's like, no. He goes, as long as they're not spreading the caliphate, they can speak English.
That's what he said. That's
our country.
Are they for Britain? Yes. Okay, they're for Britain. Are they for a caliphate? No. Can they speak English? Yes. Are they criminals? Yeah. And he's gone through the whole lot. But that's what's
Exactly.
needed.
He also said,
Basically,
are
put
they
the point
Islamists?
across for people to
Yeah.
see.
No, but
Yeah.
it's these types of open answers that needs to happen, because of course UKIP is not going to let in all the Islamists, right? Because
No.
it's going to tear down the system of what we're trying to create. Yeah. But at the same
Same with
time, if there are
communists.
people
Their,
who
ideologies are the same. They want to bring
exactly.
down the West, bring down Christian culture, bring down the country. So
Exactly. So, but if they're not of that mindset and they actually genuinely want to help, then that's fair enough. But we've got to remember that there's Zia Yusuf in Reform as the chairman, when he's changed his name because his first name is Mohammed.
That's right. They
That's
used,
right.
they used,
So-
they
Mohammed
used
Yusuf,
to
isn't
preach Sharia law, didn't they? Or used to pick it up
Exactly.
in some way or something.
But
There's
he's
evidence.
tried to hide. It's not like he's changed his name. Yeah, he's using the middle name as his first name, right, just to make him a bit cool. But it's like, no, this is your first name is Muhammad. Yeah, so
To get
obviously
into
your
separation,
parents are
no.
very much religious. So you've been
Yeah.
brought up in that religious boundaries. You have those religious ties. So you have to tell that to the people and say, well, actually, I am a Muslim. I am religious. I go and do this, but I'm not like one of them Islamists. I don't support the caliphate. But he never does that. He hasn't brought up Islam that I've seen anyway. And that's a huge, huge red line.
I mean, I think that's the biggest problem with a lot of people's mindset of being against all Muslims or knowing that there might be some good Muslims, is they don't come out and they don't denounce the bad things that are happening within their community, whereas everyone else's community does. If a Christian does something bad, you'll see Christians
Forced to.
Same with Jewish, same with Black community, same with any community that cares. You never see it from their community, and I think that's where people's mindset changes on: is there a good Muslim, isn't there a bad Muslim, can we assimilate in our country, etc., etc.
Yeah.
There's always these questions like Speaker's Corner and everywhere,
but it's important.
It's
important part of the conversation, because what's going on exactly. It's important that these conversations happen. People are going to be like skirting around, oh, we don't want to be called racist, or what does it matter if it's a few Muslims or all Muslims? No, the question is, the few people are trying to overthrow our society. So we have to have that conversation. If that involves all of you, then we'll have it with all of you. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But they don't want to do it that way. Like you say, they don't want to have them conversations. They want to say, oh, it's them over there. Let's not talk about it. And if you do, we're going to just say it's Islamophobic, because they've got that power.
And also within their communities, I think a lot of them are scared to come out because they're threatened with death and all sorts of other things, aren't they? So
100%.
You have to take these things into consideration whilst trying to remain open-minded. So as I going back to Nick and him addressing those issues in the Liam Tufts interview, I think it's worth a watch for everyone that's in two minds about what they think about UKIP.
Massively. Yeah. It's a great one.
Just go to a couple of comments. Kim Thomas says, I was a member of UKIP when Gerard Batten was leader. There was never a UKIP candidate in our area ever. And that's the problem that a lot of people have, is they don't have UKIP candidates standing in their area. And I think even Reform had that problem just before this general election. But I think Nick is really trying to get people to stand in their areas. And
the reason that there wasn't a UKIP candidate in her area or his area is because they didn't stand up. This is the mindset. If there's nobody there to represent you, right, and you really want a representation, and you have to stand up. You have to put your name. And I know that people are going to say, oh, but I've got a job, I've got this, I've got that. But at the end of the day, now it comes down to the children, right? It comes down to the future generation. It comes down to what are we prepared to lose for the sake of those in the future? Just like the sacrifices of those who come before us. I'm sure there's going to be people who didn't want to join the army to save the country against the Germans. I'm sure there was loads of people that didn't want to die, going into France, but they did it because it was a duty. And that's another duty that we have. We have a duty of having representation. And it's not the lack of they're not putting them out. It's the lack of people saying, I'm going to stand for this place. But that will change over the next year because, like you said, there's a huge There's a huge push for getting people, because we don't want elite people. We want you, the working class, the person who loves your constituency, your community, your people. That's the best candidate.
Yeah, that's it. Proper patriots. I think some people, I guess, don't have the belief in themselves to stand as well. It's like I certainly didn't when someone said, would I stand as a candidate? I was like, I haven't got the education, I haven't got the knowledge, I can't get the words out all
That's
the
because
time.
you've been told that you've been groomed. We've all been groomed by the political grooming gang, the Westminster grooming gang, right?
For so long.
Yeah.
Where there's elitists think that they can speak up for us, people who don't live in our area, career politicians that Tony Blair allowed to happen, right? Who could just float into an area and say we're going to represent. No, we've kind of been conditioned to say that we don't know how our area is, but there's nobody better than the poorest person in your area to say how that area should be run, right? Because he's been through it all. He's got no money, he's got no facilities, he knows what works, what doesn't work, he knows there's no food banks, or this food bank only caters for these people. He knows it all, and that's the person that needs to be there. Because if you're one of these people with that, you don't have to worry about money, right? To say the elitists, the people who can go into politics because it's a bit of a hobby, right? They don't know anything because they haven't lived the life of the people, right?
The people have built this country, the working class.
Exactly.
Country,
blood, sweat, and tears.
I say the elite are scared of us because there's so many of us. We could easily overthrow a government if we wanted to.
We could
they try and keep us divided. They keep us under their thumbs, you know what I mean, in every way they can. But we're the ones that built this country. We know how to take this country down if we want.
Exactly.
Whoever you want to talk
Everyone.
about, they know how to take the country down brick by brick.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean?
The power that you don't realise we've got.
And that's because they've taken it away from it. They said that they run the country. If the truckers of the world all said for one day we're not gonna truck today, we're just gonna have a little strike going on, the country would bring to a standstill. If all the builders said we're not going to build a house this week, right, we're just not going to do it. It would push back their projects for decades, right? Just 1 week. And that's what we need to understand in ourselves, that when I say that the people have the power, when America says we the people, right, it is us the people. It's just that they've told us that we don't have anything. We're not important. Don't worry about voting because we've already got it sorted. Don't worry about standing up because we know what's better for you. If someone says no, that's not happening. I'm not dealing with that. I'm going to stand up, and I know that half of this community, they love me because I'm the one they go to. I'm the butcher.
Yeah.
If you still got a butcher, do you know what I mean? I'm the corner shop man or whatever. Everyone knows me. I'm going to be here for the people.
I think that's what we need to go back to as well. We need to reinvigorate our communities because they've been infiltrated. Like you've seen, it's happened in my community. But you said the butcher, a supermarket will come to your town or somewhere, a couple of supermarkets, and there goes the butcher, there goes the baker, there goes all the little shops, the friendly shops, like you say, the people that live in the community. They're all wiped out because they're undercut prices. The capitalists have taken over. That's all these government want. They want to make money.
It's like the old greengrocers as we know it.
Everything.
Like there's a little grocer, a little green grocer, like we had in the old days that opened up in my town. And every time I go into my town centre, I pop into that greengrocer and I buy my stuff.
Exactly.
Because we got to bring it back to
that's how we got to do it. And take it away from them people, the big corporations. I'm lucky. I've got all of them. I'm very much outside of a capitalist kind of big supermarket areas and things like that. But even in them areas, you're seeing more and more small stalls opening, or like you say, shops and whatnot. And we need to do that. We need to start buying. We had, remember when Black Lives Matter, when Anthony Joshua, when he said we've got to start passing our money in the black community and no, we've got to start passing our money. Yeah. Apparently, but I've got a few. Yeah, but where are you from? You from around there?
Yeah, near Watford, probably near you.
Huh?
Yeah, probably near you.
We're born and bred in Hendon,
London, west, like northwest, isn't it?
Oh, right, yeah. Because I grew up in Watford. I was born in Watford. That's my town. So,
is it?
Yeah. So I know these.
I grew up in Hendon, Barnet.
Yeah. So anyway, so we got to put it around in our little community anyway. We've got to do it in the working class. We've got to we've got to put our money across. But go back to that thing, that late arrival thing about ask the German people, right? Because this is a thing, right? This guy saying ask or girl saying ask the German people from the wars years and ask them if nationalism was good, right? So they're saying these types of clips make no sense, all right? Because they're trying to say that nationalism is a bad thing because you're going to turn into a Nazi.
Yeah, that's ethno-nationalism, not civic nationalism.
No, but even the German people, even the German people is one of the most nationalist, nationalist people anyway. Even after that, so this question here is, to be honest, I don't want to disrespect your people, but it's a bit of a nonsense question.
To be honest, this person bleats a lot of nonsense, so it's fine.
But like the AFD, they're all going to say, "Oh, that's a Nazi." No, that's trying to get back the country. It's a good thing, right? Just because Hitler did a bad thing,
your country
right?
first. That's all it means. It doesn't mean
exactly.
be racist, be far right. It means you put your country and your people first before letting in refugees, foreigners, and giving money to other countries.
Exactly.
That's what nationalism is.
But Hitler did a bad thing. We can all agree on that, right? So they're all saying to us, the same people who do this are saying, well, it's only 1 or 2 bad Muslims. It's only 1 or 2 bad people. The rest of them are good. Well, okay, then cool. So let's use your own terminology, right? Hitler was a bad motherfucker, right? And he should never been able to do what he did, right? But that's him. That's not the whole people of the nation who voted for him and did it. Everyone was hoodwinked and everyone did what they thought they did, right? But at the end of the day, they're doing it for the country. So nationalism is good. You just need the good people in it to be ruling it.
Yeah, exactly.
Got to do it the right way.
It's when anything goes extreme. If you go extreme right or extreme left, you're gonna have issues. You've got to keep it real. Do you know what I mean? Keep it in the middle.
100%.
Denise says, "I am a constitutionist."
We do need an English constitution, 100%. I'll be with her on that. I'm more of a Republican than anything else these days because you can't. I don't know anyone could put their money behind the king and all that nonsense. So we do need an English constitution. We really do. We need an English parliament. How about let's start there? Let's start having an English parliament.
Back how it was.
That'd be a good start.
We've got nothing. We've got nothing. Everyone else as Wales has, Northern Ireland has, Scotland has, but we don't.
Let's go. I mean, Parliament's full of MPs in there that want Sharia law as well. So
well, you mentioned
we need to get them out of Parliament.
Hitler. You mentioned Hitler, right? And Starmer's been labelled Hitler, Stalin, blah blah blah. It's the same process. You've got one person calling the shots, a majority that's able to control everyone else.
Exactly. He's more Hitler-like than anyone else.
Yeah, bad things happen from things like this.
Yeah.
It's being proved again. So
he easily could do that. He easily could have a war against right-wingers, right?
Yeah, no one could oppose it because they got a majority. We need to have a valid opposition, you know what I mean? A valid voice from the people to counteract these things. So they can't just pass these stupid laws, pass these silly things that they want to put through so easily. Do you know what I mean? That's
exactly. And that would be a nationalist government. That party would be 100% a nationalist. We're here for the people.
They all voted
we're here for the country.
The inquiry for the rape gangs. How national? How bloody extreme do you want to be? Not one person used an ounce of their heart or their brain to vote against it. They just all hook, line, and sinker. All right, Slama, I'm going to do what you say, and they all voted against it. None of them should be in Parliament, in my opinion, for voting against it.
They shouldn't be, and they're going to say, "Oh, we lost the whip, right? That's why we did it because we didn't want to lose the whip, right?" And I've said this time and time again. On all the time he's whipped them votes, he did it for the winter fuel allowance. Yeah. If these people, if they all lost their whip, right, they would still be sitting there as independents. They don't have to do anything else, right? They still would be sitting there as independent. So then they would then create their own party, and they would probably by now they'd probably have about 230 people, which would probably be a majority to be the shadow parliament. So if you got yourself a leader, you made yourself an independent group, you made yourself a leader, then it's going to be Labour versus Labour, but the Labour rebels.
Well, I think
legitimately, but they don't think like that. These people ain't not thinking like that, so they must be part of it.
There's that new Muslim party now, and I reckon these 25 Muslim MPs, this is what I think is going to happen in the future, yeah? I think they're going to join that party to get their votes, yeah? Labour, this is what I honestly think is going to happen. Labour are going to try and say, oh, we've made a mistake, we're going to now focus on the working class like we should be doing to try and get the working class votes back, because they're not going to beat Reform, I reckon, anyway, in votes, or UKIP if we get popular, right? So then what they're going to do when they need a majority is they're going to join up with the Muslim party with their 25 MPs.
Of course.
go and make a majority that way. This is why they're trying to reline the county lines. You know, all around our area, they're trying to redraw the county lines to incorporate where the most of their votes are. You know, they're trying to pass that in Parliament now as well. So we have to keep on top of all this stuff. Same with Northern Ireland. Why are we giving away our people? Do you know what I mean? They all want to be governed by us. They don't want to be governed by the EU. And he wants to. Granted, Boris was forced to let them go during the whole, you know, Brexit thing. But they want to come back in. Why aren't they voting them with their bloody open hands? Come back in. You're our people. Do you know what I mean? That's important, I think. Yeah. Chagos Islands, he just wants to give away our Commonwealth. If we get all of our Commonwealth countries, yeah, Jamaica, all the old ones, India, you know, the ones that we still want to be governed by our law, etc., and just trade with our Commonwealth. We don't need anyone else. We don't need Europe. We don't need the EU. Do you know what I mean? We don't need to trade. We can trade within our Commonwealth. I think
it's about the food and the animals that can grow in the EU, though, isn't it?
Well, it's not particularly, because we survived. You know, you got to remember, after the war, we were on our asses. We were broke. We had nothing. We didn't have a huge, you know, import in. There was we made deal with what we got. We made deal with what we got. We don't need to eat strawberries in the winter, and at the same time, we don't need to have winter vegetables in the summer.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need to.
I think it's a nation that's become greedy, isn't it?
Exactly. But if you take away the greed, if you take away the fast food, if you take away everything, these people are going to be some of the most fittest people and the most healthiest people.
And look how much we throw away as well. We're a throwaway nation now. You know, you throw away so much.
Imagine your nana. Imagine your nana.
All the time.
Show what you throw away. Show the bread that you throw away, the milk you throw away, and all this. My nana would be like, you know what, you're going to get a big clout around the face. Like, do you know what I mean? She would never have that. And there was never no leftovers, but there was never excess either. We had enough.
And you were grateful for it. That's
exactly.
The thing, isn't it?
Well, there's even I, like, you know, I'm on a diet now because I've got to get fit. I've got to sort myself out, go to gym. And so I've made a start on that. But then in terms of waste, you're absolutely right. Like, I go back to how much stuff I waste. Like, you know, when I was eating mainly junk food and everything else, I'd buy in a whole week's worth of veg, end up eating junk food and throw in the veg.
Exactly.
It's like, you know, and it was that kind of waste. And, you know, I always think back to my nana who said, you know, about how they had to live on one potato a day and things like that. And, you know, it's amazing how we've become now. And, so.
My nan in the 90s, when did she? Yeah, so that all the way through the 90s, she always would leave her home with a chunk of bread in a handbag, a chunk of bread, and that is in case anything happened. She knows she could survive a little while with a chunk of bread.
That's actually funny you say that, because I definitely have met someone who did that as well once when I used to work in the retail environment. I just remember the whole bread story, or sandwich or something. I think my nan would always take a sandwich, that was it, just in case.
Just in case, you know? And that's
like, I mean, like how people had to survive. I mean, I like watching films and that show like the history during the war, you know, some of the real life sort of ones. Like there's the film, I don't know if you've seen it, called The Pianist. And I think it's an amazing film of like how they suffered. And there's always a scene I remember where we had to pay like 2,000 zlotys for like one toffee, and they cut that toffee into like eight little pieces to try and survive. And it was like, it's amazing to think back then how they had to try and survive on such little food. And that toffee is always something I think of.
Exactly, but it's something, you know, that we all can take a little bit of you know, ideas from, of saying, all right, cool, you know, there's them sweet foods, there's some foods we all like, but we can have it small amounts and, you know, not as much as we do. And honestly, we're going to see America, right? They are going to be the test bit now, because they're going to go on a health drive. RFK is going to cut out so many stuff. I think McDonald's will probably go bust in America. The amount of chemicals and stuff they're going to pull out. Right,
well, there's so much poison in our food chain. That's what I mean. They do it on purpose. They make bread. It's all in bread. They make it all cheap in junk food. You know what I mean? They're giving us diabetes, skin problems, whatever else is a big epidemic at the moment. So they can make more money on the medicine that they're going to bloody well make for you.
That they give to you
in the first place.
Like bread, milk, not milk, bread, yogurts and cheese and all these type of things should only have minimal amounts of ingredients in it. So when you look at your bread, it's got 15 ingredients. ingredients. Why has it got 15 in it? Because we know,
That's
it
the
only
crap that
takes
makes
4 or
it go
5 to
off
make it.
early. Yeah, that's the thing that makes it go off early now. Is these preservatives they have to add, that they don't even know what it is. That's bad for you.
Exactly.
Back in the day, our nans would chop off that bit of mould and you get some cheese.
And chop it off.
I mean?
That's it, bang,
Nowadays,
and it's done.
The whole thing goes like rancid.
The slightest bit as well. The slightest bit down there, that's enough. We're not going to waste it. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to die from this bit of yeast and stuff. And it also made us stronger as well. I believe that people now who are having all these types of problems and issues could be solved with a much better diet. Your nutritional intake and whatnot, and people have got all mad diseases and that. If you had a good, strong, solid diet, and I'm terrible with my food. I try to be as good as I can. I am actually terrible.
Yeah.
But at least I'm looking and knowing what kind of to do and
that's
what not to.
Everyone starts somewhere. It's easy to go and grab a burger, man. It tastes nice, but
that's it.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
Sugar,
it's so easy.
But we're addicted to sugar. There's sugar in bread. There's so much sugar in everything. When you have that donut or that cake, you just overdose.
Nice. You forget about it.
Realize,
Exactly.
They need to price the bad stuff up worse as well, because if you go to the shop, you buy your bread, your cheese, all your fattening stuff. It's actually quite a cheap bill. You go into the shop and you buy your vegetables, your fruits, and everything else. You're looking at a really expensive bill. I think that needs to change somehow. They need to
hike the price up on the infiltrated our food system.
And also,
a lot of people that are low on money, and I've been there, many times. I ended up just living on cheese sandwiches because it was cheap for me to buy a loaf of bread, block the cheese, and just live on that. So that's where my life was at one point. And then when I had to start eating healthy, I was buying all the veg and the fruit, and I was like, bloody hell, my bill's like 50 quid when it used to be a tenner. And yeah. So they need to like they're up in the price on fags all the time, so to stop people buying them, they should do that with the sweets and the chocolate and all that.
Exactly that. And I'm just looking on here, right, because it could just go. You got these like Lincolnshire food boxes and all these meat boxes and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
And actually, if you buy this meat here and you can get it for a month, like there is decent ones out on there. You can get like it's one here, £46, right? And it's kind of like a stew meat, with a bit of mince in there as well, right? It's 46 quid, right? But that lamb and that beef and whatever else is going to be bred here, killed here. It's going to be on the minimal amounts of additives and whatnot, because like you say, they're not going through a processing center where they've got to prolong the life of it, and it's actually going to be better. It's 45 quid. People can do that over their shopping of meats in Tesco's and whatnot, but these are not portrayed out as much as they should be.
Also farms. If you're
people don't know how to cook.
A farm shop, I'd say
but these send it to you. These meat boxes, people, they send it to you, right? They're quite good. I did one myself. Yeah, it's the same bits as that, but it's from their farm. It's their animals. They kill it. They put it into the boxes. It comes to you next day. It's all got like ice in.
Have a look.
Well, I don't know any. I just went to the first one. There was one on. Where was the one? I thought it was Lincolnshire.
Isn't there one called Butcher's Block? I think there's one called Butcher's Block in there, like a butcher. They do lots of meat boxes.
Things like that. Yeah, things like this is Butcher's Block. But it's good to look into these things, and if you can do it, because it's going to be better. But people can't cook as well. That's the only other problem. They don't know how to cook the food to make the best out of it, which is why they took away home tech from the schools.
Exactly, to make us reliant on microwave meals.
Exactly, that's what it is. I remember my old man being mad at my mum, right? And I was dead young, and he was like, "Get that thing out!" And I always remember what it was, right? And I remember it was the microwave, yeah. And my dad said, like months afterwards, you're not going to get a decent food every day of the week, right? So you don't really see it. And then the microwave become more and more and more and more and more in the house. Like my mum used to cook every single day, but now she's got a bit of convenience. So it starts off with, the peas, or it starts off with this, and then all of a sudden there's all these whole meals you can cook before the microwave meals. But there was like recipes, from Franny Craddock and that, how you can do these things, and it did it changed it. And my man was clued on this type of stuff, you know. And when Asda come, he said that's it, that's the end of the butchers and all that, and it was. So these things we need to take out of our kitchens, and we took it out of ours actually in the microwave, and it's a lot better until you need a microwave meal.
I never use a microwave. I use it to warm up oats and to warm baked beans, and that's it. Everything else I'm trying cooking.
I cook up everything in the Ninja.
You got an air fryer. The air fryer's all right. Air fryers are good.
It's like an all-in-one air fryer, slow cook. You do anything, oven, and I cook everything in it.
Oh, I think I used to have one like that. Does it have recipes, and you go down to like presets, and it's got a recipe preset in there, and it tells you all the bits that you need?
That was a halogen.
You could do all that as well.
They came out for a bit.
That was a what?
Yeah, there was halogen ovens.
Halogen ovens.
There are ones like that. Yeah.
Oh.
But no, this one's got like a pressure cooker lid, and so you pressure cook your meat and then slow cook it and all sorts. It's amazing.
That's mad. That's what we need.
I know a lot of people that use it now. It seems to be a lifesaver if you've got loads of kids, because you can cook things really quickly. But I'm still on two minds on these air fryers myself. I haven't got one. I still think there's a link to cancer with cooking food too quickly, and I think that's just another. Yeah, I'll give it about 10 years.
But I don't think I'm thinking about my air cooker now, the air fryer now, and I don't think it is. I don't think it cooks food quicker. It's like if you're not. Because I preheat the oven, right? When I got the oven, I preheat it for about half an hour to get it at that right temperature. And this one here, it's quicker to preheat because it's smaller. So I don't think it cooks it quicker in that sense. I think it heats it quicker.
But it's like more efficient.
It makes it more efficient. I don't think it speeds up the time. It might do, but I don't think it does in that way. That's something to look at. I never thought about it like that, to be fair, but it's something to look at.
It's just something someone told me years ago about putting frozen meat on a barbecue. Like it releases all those pathogens that goes towards giving cancer.
That's frozen though.
Oh yeah, I know. But it always stayed in my head about cooking food too quick. Like try and cook it. I'd rather cook something like longer, slower, than really quick.
Yeah. So looking forward to the weekend next weekend.
Oh, it's gonna be good. I've got a speech that is on fire. So it's gonna be great. It's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it. I love these weekends anyway because it gets all the people together and we can have a good time. I'm always like a bit, let's just go and do it. And then I have it.
You always leave it feeling good about it, with people that are with you, you're having a good time, you're celebrating Britain and you're addressing some important points. So it's always
exactly. And that's the thing as well. We've got to get people together. We've got to get people together. And I call them the old girls from around here. They're going up, right? They're like, Danny, we're going. And I was like, how did you hear about it? And they're like, you're telling everyone. We found out about it. And we could go. And I was like, could you do the walks? So I'm like, oh, you got to do this and that. But don't say that, don't be all over me because there's scumbags out there because I don't know that mentality. Do you know what I mean? That people try and dox them. Their lives are probably all out there, kind of thing. So it's kind of like, no, it's cool. But the elderly are coming, and these girls are like, they're 70 plus. They're coming. So it's good.
I say there's so many.
It's good. I'll be
disabled. We get everyone at these
exactly
events.
I'll be making another documentary. Try and make.
Are you doing a documentary? Have you got into the? Speak to me after.
I'm gonna go live.
Yeah.
I'm getting there a bit
this is it. I was like,
have you gone into the media group?
I haven't. The last event, I even messaged Urban Scoop to see if I could get a pass somehow, so I could make a better video. And I didn't get a response, so I had to make do with what I could do.
Media group set up. 1 second. Media group set up. If so, all right, cool. No, if because sometimes they have like a media group, so they can give media passes out.
Yeah.
All the bods at the front and that.
Yeah.
So they can give them a better view of it. Do you know what I mean?
This is it. I think there's quite a lot there last time, wasn't there?
I think on the last one, when I messaged Urban Scoop and I said to them, I wanted to get on the other side of the banner so I could get a good video of like the banner, and I never got a response. I never got that chance to do that. But but obviously
we'll sort it. We'll sort it for the both of you. We'll sort it for the both of you.
Because I want to make the best video that I can to promote it. Show people the highlights and everything else.
You want it
Have
to,
you
for,
seen
you,
my?
for yourself, man. You want it to promote yourself so people can come to your channels and
Well,
say
that's it.
you have the good, you have the good shots, you have the good videos, and we enjoy your content. So it's not really, you know, for everyone else. You want to do it predominantly. A good
Yeah.
video for you is a good video for the people.
Yeah.
I haven't got.
That's
I've
the thing.
even
It's
planned.
about showing everyone the truth, in my opinion.
Yeah.
No editing. I love going live. I like
Is that what you
everyone
do?
to see it.
Live
Because
audience?
everyone says something and they don't even look. At least if they can see it, they're going to know that everything we say is true. You know. Everything
Yeah,
we say.
it's
I think
good.
one.
It's good and it's bad because you have people that sneak up on the side of you, right? And I get texts, Dan, there's a streamer right next to you. Just walk away slightly. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know they're live. I'm talking
Oh,
to
yeah.
someone, and do you know what I mean? People. It's not so much the words that I will say, but people will always take things out of context. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And by the time I can see it, they've already clipped it, put it out there, put it on the internet. So it's like, yeah, I like
Whereas me, you
live
can't.
to watch it, but some people just sneak up behind you and stand behind you. And you just,
Yeah.
you don't.
Me, you can't miss me in a crowd being my height and everything.
Are you really tall?
Just under 6'5".
Oh yeah, shit.
Yeah.
Under,
So I could usually be spotted like.
Yeah, definitely. That's tall.
But, yeah, no,
You-
tall
Yeah,
and
Danny, did you
wide.
watch
But,
Street Mike today on Tommy's X?
Yeah, I always
Big
I
Brother.
have it on. You know, I have
Yeah,
Spit Is Going on anyway. I like it on a Sunday. I wish I could get down there all the time.
I went last week. I didn't go today because it was too
Did you
late.
go last year? Did you see? I didn't. Was you there?
Yeah, I was there last week.
Did I speak to you?
No, I didn't see you. What time did you get there?
Last
I was there
Sunday.
from about 12 till 2. You were
Yeah,
there.
we
the
was
time
there. We was
before.
there. We was there with Street Mike.
No, that was the week before. He was in Washington last week, wasn't he?
Oh
The
shit!
week
Yeah.
before. Yeah,
So
no, I missed you, man. I wanted to come down and like meet you, but I think I had a mate over from Czech or something, so I was busy. But yeah, so I went there for a couple of hours. I think Usman got nicked for attacking one of the young Christian boys. Or something happened behind me.
they're
always messing
Causing
about,
beef,
but
aren't they? Yeah.
it needs to be done as well. You know, we need to have a
Did you,
strong Christian prison down there.
Did you see my little promotional video for this upcoming rally? I tagged you in
No,
it.
have you?
I'll take you
I'll
with it.
I'll get so many
Well,
tags,
this is
mate.
it.
Just
I think
DM me.
I think I made a really good uplifting 2-minute long, promotion thing for this upcoming event, and I put it on X, and I got like 5 views. I think because my channel's small, I can't get it out there, so I tagged loads of people in it, including you, just to see if anyone can give it a share. So, but yeah, it's just like like.
what
that
are you
little-
on there?
that-
British, real British. Or are you on? No, you understand different on there, aren't you?
No, same name as this one. I think,
Okay.
I think that my tag's like at Real British Medi. I think,
What, an X?
yeah,
Oh yeah, Med, real
Yeah,
British Med.
Med. That's it. Yeah.
Nothing's come up on the tag, so this has come up. What one's it called? Will not be silenced anymore. That one, yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Because that little one Open Scoop put out with Richard Ingham doing the talk over.
Yeah,
I basically did one similar, and yeah, it wasn't getting seen, so I thought, yeah, try and get it out.
yeah, it's out now. 1st of Feb. I don't know what time it is. 1st of Feb. Let's go. All right,
Yeah.
out. Shared it. Done.
Nice
I
one.
can't see. If you do it, just DM me, yeah, because I don't see. I see a DM more than I see a share because
I
it's just
DM'd
so
you
many
before,
people.
but I didn't get a reply, so I assumed you were busy in it. But
You'll have to get in the
yeah,
media
I did.
group
I
and
see.
you can text him.
Yeah.
Talk about
I'm not even in. I'm not even in the media group. I'm not in the
Oh,
media group.
not
No,
even
no,
in it.
I'm not. That's why I have to ask all the time because I go into it, and then like everyone's doing loads of stuff, especially when I've got my broken foot and my foot's just fucked anyway. So I see everyone doing their stuff, and I'm just like, oh man, I can't do nothing. So I just mute it, and then I just pull myself out of it.
Wait,
that's
have you got a
why-
broken foot now? When did you break your foot?
I broke it in August, and my ligaments. I tore my ligaments, so I've got to get that sorted. So I did
That's
it.
what
In,
you put
Are you
in-
going to be alright for Saturday, yeah? Or are you going to be in the crutches?
I'll be on crutches still.
Are you?
Mm.
At
But I've got a
least-
see
small
you put a
boot now. I've
picture
got a
up.
small boot now. You see it yesterday, that picture?
Yeah, I thought you were talking about a tag or something.
Yeah,
No, that's my new thing to keep my joints sucked in. I was just
I
come.
was having a look to see if you were on tag because I thought that's what it meant. And I was like, no, that's some brace.
Nah, because I had the big. I've had the big boot every one. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've gone down to the small one now, but I still got some crutches, but yeah, just can't get out and about. I did
Yeah.
Speaker's Corner that 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and my foot was swollen for about 10 days afterwards. Literally, I couldn't get it down. I was
You
like,
got to
this
stand
is
up
mad.
for a long time, innit? And then it swells up.
Exactly. But yeah, I won't be doing the march, but I'll be there other side. But I want to do the march. I
Yeah.
might do the march. Oh, I might do. Who knows?
I'll come and say hello in person,
limb.
shake your hand.
Definitely. Definitely. I don't know where I'll be before because everyone's gonna. It's at Waterloo, and there's a couple of pubs, but I think they're going to be closed. So I don't know where to meet.
It's Waterloo, and then we're
Sandal Street or something.
It's not a place where there's loads of people. Loads of places to go. Like the other side of Waterloo.
Yeah.
I've got Waterloo Station, haven't we? It's down the side of Waterloo Station, isn't it? So we can go in the Brewdog and all that. That's where people will be when they're in the Brewdog.
Yeah, what is it? The Union Jack
there won't be any
well,
room.
I think so.
You can't just walk it. Are you a member there, are you?
No.
No.
What,
So you can't
Brewdog?
no, Union Jack Club.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Yeah, but
No,
I know that's where we're meeting, isn't it? Outside there. And
Yeah.
Down to, is it Standing Street or somewhere? Down to the bridge for photos, and then
That's going to be beautiful over there.
Yeah.
Over get a drone up. It'll be beautiful. Even though
Well, this is how I was going to bring my drone down, but I thought to myself, nah, because they got all them restrictions. Like,
one side of the bridge, and not Street Mike. What's his name? DJ Media says one side of the bridge you can have the drone, but as soon as it crosses over or goes under or some shit like that, then it's a red zone.
Well, this is it, because at the last
where they come up to.
At the last event, he lifted off from the stage, didn't he, to get a shot of the crowd?
I don't think that's him. That wasn't him. That was I believe that was one of the Canadian ladies.
Oh, okay.
Not Denise from Canada, the Rebel. Who's the Rebel girl?
Rebel Media.
Yeah, the Canadian, the girl that comes with her. Oh, what's her name? I've forgotten. I think it was her that did it. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
Not the singing one. Not Kelly, is it? Kelly, I forget the name.
No. So it might be. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I forgot as well.
But one of them, because when we was in the Union Jack Club afterwards, they were like, listen, the thing went up and it come down again and showed us the footage. And that was the footage that went around.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. It might have been.
Because I was looking.
But it lets you go up. It lets you go up, and then it will pull you down again.
Yeah.
It'll cut your geo, whatever it is, and you just come straight down again. But
because you're not allowed to fly over crowds with a drone. So, and that's probably why. Because if you go up and straight down again, you're fine. But if you fly, you're going over a crowd, aren't you? Because I mean, I got a drone and I was looking at the app and it's got flight restriction zones and that. And I think you can gain permission somehow if you call a number and that.
Yeah, they won't give it you.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Not unless you're MSM or something.
I'll have to leave the drone at home.
If you say, listen, I want to show them all being racist, they'll give you it straight away. They'll be like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I'm an infiltrator and I want to show everyone that's a racist. They'll be like, yeah, we'll give you everything, mate. We'll give you the drone. There you go.
Yeah.
It's a brand new fucking drone.
But now it's going to be good. Looking forward to it. So, yeah, I think I'm going to wrap this up anyway.
Cool.
We've been going a while, but thank you for coming, Danny. It was good to have someone on.
Yeah,
good
it's great to have another person to talk to because
I did it. I shared it out on the Twitter because I was doing lots of other stuff. I just quickly I see it come up on my when I was flicking through YouTube, and I just shared it out there. But people might have just come in.
I find on X that everything takes like maybe 12 hours before it gets like okayed, and then it starts getting shared. Unless you do something wrong, like when I put up some misinformation by accident once, boom,
what was it?
Thousands of comments, man. I was like, well, that's how you get noticed.
Just do it. Just keep putting it out. Fuck them.
Bonjour, hello Templar. We're wrapping it up soon, so we've been going for 2 hours now because normally I go for about an hour, over an hour. And then just as we hit over an hour, you came up. I was like, well, let's keep going.
Let's just keep it going. Because
you got a lot of the knowledge as well. You know what you're talking about. So it's a great guest to have on. So it was worth going on another hour to
we'll do it.
We're all in agreement then to wrap it up though, but we're all behind Nick Tenconi and UKIP, yeah?
Yes.
100%. 100%. I'm going to do so much with UKIP, and so much to support Nick. That's it.
I'm
give
up
it
to
all
as
you
well.
can. Give it all you can for UKIP, and if nobody votes or it don't get across the line, then in my opinion, the country is beyond repair. So they reap what they sow. That's it.
Yeah.
That's a good
Well, I'm
words to
behind
finish
them
on.
now. I'm off the fence, and I'm now full on UKIP. Let's go.
Loads of
So,
people are as well. Loads of people are. Just
that's
to
it.
quickly
But to
wrap
be
it
honest,
and whatnot. Loads of people
it's
over the
people-
last 2 weeks.
Yeah, people bigging them up is what what changes people's minds as well. Like I listen to your stuff and what you're saying about UKIP in your videos,
Mm.
and I was watching all of Dean's videos, the bricklayer,
Yeah.
and I love the way he speaks
Dean.
passionately about stuff. Like,
All right, people.
So,
Now I'm going to
you
tell
know,
you.
This is what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
We're gonna do.
And I
He's
think-
always. I love it. He's in his woolen jumper, and I'm like, do you know what? Yeah, that's how it should be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not wrapped up in all these coats and that. A good, decent woolen jumper.
Yeah.
You're never gonna
and
be
he's
warm.
there. He's
I
there
would've
with
bought
all his
one.
bricklaying stuff.
I love my
100%.
woolen
I love his
jumpers.
stuff. I love his stuff that he
But
does.
yeah,
Man. He's
so-
really good.
And I think, some of his speeches that he gave, made my decision as well. It was like, you know what, he's right. If you want to save your country and you're patriotic, get the fuck behind UKIP. Pretty much what he said. So
That's it.
that's it.
We're all
And,
speaking the same language.
So, yeah.
Brilliant.
And says I will be voting UKIP. So there we go. We got says.
And we need, as well as the people voting for UKIP, what we do need is the people standing up for UKIP as well, being a
Well,
candidate.
membership.
Yeah.
£30 a year when you get to vote for the leader because it's democratised, unlike reform, it's not democratised. So for £30, you're going to get looked after by UKIP, a chance to save your country, and you can pick the leader.
That's it.
Exactly. You can, and you can also not only can you pick the leader, you can challenge the leader's decisions. If you think, oh, hang on a minute, that's not what we signed up for, or where is this going? You can always put in challenges, and if there's enough people putting that challenge, then it will be discussed at the higher tables.
Yeah.
Unlike reform, you've got to give them your money and accept what they say. That's it.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely.
Yeah. Don't agree with a lot of that they're saying at the moment, but
But
yeah,
you're not their target, so they don't care. They just want your vote. But the ideas are really for the elite, middle, upper class, upper. What do they call it? Upper working class and middle class. That's what they're.
As it's always been.
Yeah. Or people have, or sometimes builders who have done well and they've got themselves a business and they've got a few million in their quid. That's the type of person, but they forget that most of them people still have the working class to their heart and they've lived that life. So they're starting to come away from it.
Don't forget where you came
That
from.
was
That's a good
Exactly.
saying, isn't it?
Exactly. And they don't. And there was one fella that went to the conference and he said he wouldn't give them 50, 60 grand. He said, I could have easily. I said, I'm not going to do that. And they decided to chuck him out at the VIP bit. They were like ushered him out and that after they realised he wasn't going to give that 60 grand because he didn't like what he was saying.
Well, there you go.
Silence.
So anyway, we'll leave that for another day.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Yeah.
Thanks. That's
Anyway.
been good.
We'll see you all on
thanks for watching,
Saturday.
everyone, and, yeah, I'll see you. See you then.
And I'll see you then. I'm off now.
Yeah,
All right. Cheers, bud.
Cool.
DM me as
I'll
soon as
look
you get off
for-
it. As soon as you get off,
I will
DM me and I'm
talk
going to
after.
give you my number. All right. So
talk
All right, mate. Yeah.
look out for it.
Nice
I'll
one.
DM you. I'll do you actually. Don't worry. Listen, watch out for
Yeah,
my,
cool.
my message. All right, cool.
Yeah,
Have a
that's
good
it.
one. Thanks, gents.
Take care, mate. Bye, everyone. Bye, viewers. Bye, watchers. And we shall see you next Sunday at 8 p.m. No, we won't actually because I'm not going to be here. Actually, we could probably do it still on Sunday
Yeah, we'll do
live
it.
somehow.
We'll work out
I'll
the way.
find a way.
We're going to be live
Yeah.
at Speaker's Corner anyway. You'll come with me, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, thanks everyone, and we'll see you again. Thanks,
See you
one
soon.
Jen, once again. Bye bye.
Bye bye.